The arena was vast. It stretched across the center of the city on the planet Zoran 5, its walls gleaming with polished metal and glass. Thousands of beings from many worlds had gathered to see the grand tournament. Alien banners waved in the wind, each showing the symbol of a species, their colors bright and bold. The crowd roared with excitement, their voices echoing like thunder across the arena. At the center of it all, standing tall on a raised platform, was Force Commander Queen Ziara. She was a sight to behold. Her armor shimmered like molten silver, perfectly fitted to her lithe, muscular frame. Her eyes glowed faintly blue, a sign of her battle readiness, and her long dark hair flowed behind her like a banner. Ziara had fought countless battles across the galaxy, but this arena was her stage. Here every victory was watched by millions and every defeat was remembered forever. Today she had emerged victorious. She had defeated 12 elite gladiators in a row, each from a different species. Some had claws, some had advanced weapons, some had strange psychic abilities. But Ziara had faced them all and she had triumphed. Her moves were precise, fast, and graceful. Every strike was calculated, every dodge perfect. The crowd's cheers reached a peak as she raised her arms in victory. Lights from hovering drones circled around her, capturing her image for viewers across the galaxy. Ziara's lips curved into a confident smile. This was her moment. She had proven again why she was the strongest warrior alive. Yet as the cheering continued, a ripple of quiet began to move through the crowd. At first, Ziara did not notice it. She was used to attention and praise. But the murmur grew louder. Whispers floated across the stands. Her eyes scanned the arena, sharp and alert. And then she saw him, the human. He stepped through the grand gates into the arena. He was alone. No guards, no weapons, no armor. Just a man in a simple uniform, his face calm, almost casual. His dark eyes scanned the arena as if he were studying it. There was no fear in his gaze. He walked with steady confidence, his movements fluid, natural yet purposeful. The arena went silent. Every cheer, every shout, every sound seemed to vanish. Even the hovering drones paused, as if the air itself held its breath. The crowd stared. Ziara's eyes narrowed. Who was this human? How did he dare enter the arena alone, unarmed, in front of the greatest warrior in the galaxy? Rumors had always existed about humans. They were few in number compared to other species, but they had a reputation. They were clever, resilient, and surprisingly strong in ways others did not expect. Some said humans could think faster, adapt quicker, and survive in impossible situations. But Ziara had faced hundreds of opponents in her life, and she had never met a human of true skill. Until now. The human walked slowly, deliberately. He did not look at Ziara with fear nor with arrogance. There was a quiet strength about him, a sense that he had nothing to prove, yet he could face anything. Some aliens in the stand shivered, sensing something unfamiliar, something dangerous. Others were curious. What made this human so different? Ziara raised one hand, calling the arena's attention back to her. "Who dares enter my arena?" she demanded. Her voice was strong, commanding. It echoed across the vast space. "Step forward and state your purpose." The human stopped a few steps away from her. He lifted his head, his voice calm and steady. "I am here to fight," he said simply, "and to prove that humans are not weak." The words were not loud, but they carried weight. The audience felt it. The simplicity, the clarity, the confidence, it was unlike anything they had heard before. Ziara's jaw tightened. She did not like being underestimated. She did not like arrogance, but she also did not underestimate skill. A small alien gladiator from the arena's perimeter suddenly charged at the human, thinking to test him. The creature had sharp claws, wings that shimmered, and teeth like daggers. The audience held their breath. Ziara expected a battle to erupt instantly, but the human moved differently. He sidestepped the alien effortlessly, his body flowing with balance and precision. With a quick movement, he grabbed the alien's arm and gently but firmly guided it behind its back. The alien froze, unable to resist. With a slight push, the human sent it stumbling backward, safe but defeated. Gasps filled the arena. Ziara's eyes widened slightly. The crowd whispered in awe. No human had ever moved like this. No human had ever faced a creature with such skill without weapons and walked away unhurt. Ziara felt something stir inside her. Curiosity mixed with caution. Pride mixed with challenge. She had fought many skilled opponents, but there was something different about this human, something she could not yet understand. The human walked forward, ignoring the whispers. His gaze met Ziara's. He did not look away. The air seemed to thrum with tension. The two warriors, so different in appearance and background, faced each other in the center of the arena. The silence was heavy. Every alien in the audience waited. Every camera, every drone, every recording device captured the moment. Ziara's mind raced. She had trained her whole life for this, facing strong opponents, reading their movements, predicting their actions. And yet there was a strange calmness about this human. His presence alone was a challenge. She could feel it in her chest, in her arms, in her instincts. He was strong, stronger than she had expected. A drone hovering near the ceiling projected a holographic scoreboard. It displayed Ziara's victories, 12 consecutive wins. Then it flashed a message about the human. Unknown challenger. No record, no defeats, the crowd murmured. They had heard legends, but they had never seen proof. Now the proof stood before them. The human spoke again. I do not fight for fame, he said. I fight to show what humans can do when they are tested. Ziara's eyes narrowed. Very well, she said. You will face me. But know this, many have tried. All have failed. You will fail too. Her voice carried a note of warning. She did not underestimate anyone easily, but she felt the thrill of a true challenge. The human nodded slightly. I understand. The crowd leaned forward. The anticipation was electric. Aliens from different corners of the galaxy whispered to each other. Who was this human? How could he possibly survive? Could he really challenge the Force Commander Queen herself? Ziara dropped her stance into combat mode, her body coiled like a spring. She had weapons ready, her armor glinting in the bright arena lights. The human remained calm, unarmed, his stance relaxed but alert. It was a strange sight, armor and weapons facing bare hands and human instinct. The first few seconds were tense. Ziara tested him with a quick strike, a slash of her energy blade. The human moved with astonishing speed, dodging the blow easily. He countered with a movement that was not an attack but a shift in position, almost teasing her. Ziara's surprise was brief but real. The crowd erupted into whispers. Some cheered for Ziara, some for the human. Others were too stunned to speak. Never before had they seen such a calm, unarmed human move with such skill. Ziara's mind focused. She had to see how strong he really was. She launched a series of attacks, fast, precise, unrelenting. But each one was anticipated, blocked, or avoided by the human. He did not fight like the others she had defeated. There was no panic, no fear, no arrogance, just strategy and timing beyond expectation. Minutes passed, though it felt like seconds. Ziara's muscles burned, her mind raced. This human was not just strong. He was clever, adaptable, unpredictable. Every move she made was met with balance, counter, or evasion. The crowd gasped. The whispers turned into shouts. Some cheered the human. Some stared in disbelief. Aliens who had never respected humans before now felt fear and curiosity. The reputation of humanity was growing before their very eyes. Finally, Ziara stopped. She lowered her weapon slightly, breathing heavily. She had never faced an opponent like this. Not in 1,000 battles had she felt such a mix of challenge and admiration. The human looked at her calmly, almost smiling as if inviting her to try again. The arena remained silent. Ziara realized that today something had changed. The human was not just an opponent. He was proof that humans were more than their small numbers or simple appearance. They were clever, adaptable, and surprisingly strong. And now, she would have to face the reality of this truth. For the first time in her life, Force Commander Queen Ziara felt a hint of uncertainty. And yet the thrill of a new challenge stirred her pride. This human had entered the arena unarmed, unknown, and yet he had made his presence felt. Ziara clenched her fists. The real fight had not started yet. But already the galaxy was watching, and it would never forget the day a human entered the arena and made the Force Commander Queen pause. The air was tense. The crowd was silent and the stage was set. The story of humans had begun right here in the arena of glory. The arena remained silent. Even the hovering drones seemed to pause, capturing every detail of the strange scene. Ziara, the Force Commander Queen, lowered her weapon slightly. Her glowing blue eyes fixed on the human who stood calmly in the center. Every muscle in her body was tense, ready for action, but her mind raced faster than ever before. She had faced many powerful opponents, but she had never seen anyone like this human. The man's calm presence unsettled her. He didn't run, didn't shout, didn't make threats. He simply stood and watched, almost as if he were observing a puzzle. The audience whispered to each other, their voices filled with awe, curiosity, and a hint of fear. No one had ever seen a human like this. Some aliens even wondered if he was more than human, some form of evolved warrior. Ziara stepped forward, her armor glinting in the bright arena lights. She raised her voice, strong and commanding. "Tell me, human, what brings you here? Are you here to fight or merely to insult the arena?" The human's voice was calm but firm. "I am here to fight," he said. "I do not seek fame or glory. I only want to show what humans can do when challenged." The crowd leaned forward, hanging on his words. There was honesty in his tone. No arrogance, no exaggeration, just truth. Many aliens found it strange that someone could speak so plainly, yet command such attention. Ziara frowned. His words were simple, but they carried weight. Suddenly, a smaller alien warrior, green-skinned with long, sharp claws, darted toward the human. The creature's eyes glowed red, and it hissed, showing its sharp teeth. "I will test him," it shouted in its harsh, guttural voice. "If he cannot even defeat me, then he does not belong here." The crowd gasped. They expected a fight, a violent display of power. Many prepared to cheer for Ziara, confident she would intervene and crush the human's challenger. But she did nothing. She watched silently, curious to see how the human would react. The human did not panic. He took one calm step to the side as the creature lunged. His movement was smooth, almost fluid, like water flowing around a rock. He reached out, grabbed the alien's arm, and twisted it gently. The alien yelped, surprised, and stumbled backward. The human didn't strike. He simply guided the creature's motion so it lost balance and fell to the ground safely, unable to continue the attack. The audience erupted into whispers and shocked gasps. No human had ever faced a creature like that, unarmed, and neutralized it without hurting it. Ziara's eyes widened. This was not just skill. This was instinct, precision, and an understanding of movement that was unusual, even for the most experienced warriors. The human's calmness did not break. He looked at Ziara and nodded slightly as if acknowledging her presence. Ziara felt a strange mix of respect and unease. This human had entered the arena alone, faced a warrior, and yet he seemed untouchable. The alien crowd was divided. Some whispered in fear, imagining the implications of a human with such abilities. Others whispered in admiration, eager to see the demonstration of power. Across the galaxy, messages were already streaming to distant planets via holotransmissions. The news of a human in the arena spread faster than any official announcement could. Ziara took a deep breath. Her pride demanded that she face him herself. She had not come to the arena for minor tests or small demonstrations. She had come to prove her strength, to be recognized as the strongest in the galaxy. If this human was to challenge her, she had to see him in a full fight. "Very well," she said, her voice ringing across the arena.
"I will face you."
"Stand ready, human."
"This will not be a small test." The human nodded once. His calmness remained, but his eyes sharpened. He seemed to understand the gravity of the challenge. He did not reach for a weapon because he had none. He relied only on his body, his mind, and his instincts. Ziara could see it now. This human was confident not because he was unafraid, but because he trusted himself completely. The crowd fell silent again. Even the minor alien warriors stopped moving. The stage was set. Two figures so different in appearance and skill faced each other. One Ziara armored, armed, and experienced. The other, human, unarmed, calm, and surprisingly powerful. Ziara moved first, testing him with a quick strike. Her blade, made of a rare energy alloy, flashed through the air toward the human's side. He sidestepped effortlessly, his body moving with perfect balance. He didn't just dodge, he shifted, anticipating Ziara's next movement, almost predicting her intentions. Ziara's eyes narrowed. This human was fast, yes, but more than that, he understood combat in a way that defied expectation. The crowd gasped. This was unusual. The Force Commander Queen had faced opponents who were fast, strong, and deadly. But none had moved like this human. None had matched her in instinct, timing, and calmness. Ziara increased her attacks using a combination of energy strikes, jumps, and spins. She forced the human to move constantly, to respond, to react. But each time he adapted. He didn't panic. He didn't make mistakes. He moved with a grace and intelligence that stunned the audience. Minutes passed, but it felt like moments. The tension in the arena was nearly unbearable. Every alien watched closely, unsure whether to cheer or to remain silent. Whispers spread across the crowd. Some began to doubt their assumptions about humans. Others wondered if this human could really defeat the Force Commander Queen. Ziara's chest heaved slightly. Her arms were tired, her mind sharp, but this human was unlike any opponent she had faced. He did not rely on strength alone. He did not try to overpower her. He used strategy, instinct, and timing to stay ahead. Finally, Ziara paused. She took a deep breath, lowering her weapon slightly. She had fought many opponents in her life, but she had never faced one like this. Her mind raced, considering tactics and possibilities. Could she defeat him? Was she prepared for the unexpected? The human took a step forward, still calm, still confident. "You are strong," he said quietly, "but strength alone is not enough. You must think, adapt, and trust your instincts. That is how humans survive," the crowd murmured in amazement. His words were simple yet powerful. He was not bragging. He was explaining truth. Ziara felt a strange respect for him. She had always fought to prove her strength, but this human reminded her that skill was more than just power. It was strategy, timing, and understanding. Ziara clenched her fists. She was not used to feeling challenged this way. The thrill of a real opponent stirred inside her. For the first time, she realized that humans could be more than what others believed. They were clever, adaptable, and unpredictable. The arena buzzed with energy. Aliens whispered, some in fear, some in admiration. Cameras captured every detail, sending images and holo feeds across the galaxy. The legend of this human had begun, and everyone knew that today history was being made. Ziara's eyes met the humans again. A silent understanding passed between them. The real battle had not yet begun. What had just happened was a test, a demonstration of skill and instinct. But soon they would face each other fully, and the outcome could change how the galaxy viewed humans forever. The human smiled faintly, still calm, still steady. Ziara adjusted her stance. Her armor gleamed. Her weapons were ready and her mind focused. She had faced many challengers, but this human was different. He was not just strong. He was unique, and now she was determined to see what he was truly capable of. The crowd waited in silence. The air was tense, thick with anticipation. Every being in the arena could feel it. Today was not just a battle. Today was the beginning of something new. A human had entered the arena unarmed, unknown, and unafraid, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Ziara raised her blade one final time, and the human prepared himself, ready to meet the challenge head-on. Their eyes locked. Two warriors, so different yet equally determined, faced each other. The next moment would decide much more than just a victory in the arena. It would decide how the galaxy would see humans forever. The arena was silent, but the tension was thick enough to feel. Every alien and human viewer alike held their breath, waiting for the battle to begin. Force Commander Queen Ziara tightened her grip on her energy blade. Every fiber in her body was ready. She had faced the galaxy's strongest warriors, but this human before her was different. Calm, focused, and unarmed, he radiated a confidence that unsettled her. The human stood in a relaxed stance, his feet planted firmly on the ground. He did not flinch or shift nervously. His dark eyes scanned Ziara's every move, analyzing, predicting, yet not showing any fear. For the first time, Ziara realized that she might not be the strongest being in this arena. Without a word, Ziara launched the first attack. Her blade moved like lightning, slashing through the air toward the human's side. He moved almost casually, dodging with a fluid motion, barely bending his knees. It was not just speed. It was perfect timing and understanding of the attack. He sidestepped, and Ziara's blade cut through the empty air. The crowd gasped. They had expected a human to be overpowered immediately, but this man moved like he had faced similar attacks countless times. Whispers spread among the spectators. How can a human move like that? Ziara didn't wait for their surprise to settle. She attacked again, this time with a spin, trying to strike from an angle the human might not anticipate, but he adjusted instantly, ducking under her blade and rolling slightly to the side. He was not just dodging. He was reading her movements, predicting the next strike, and responding with perfect balance. The Force Commander Queen felt a surge of exhilaration. She had never faced anyone who moved like this. Strength alone had always been enough. Now she realized she needed more than power. She needed focus, creativity, and speed beyond muscle. Ziara increased her attacks, combining jumps, spins, and rapid blade strikes. The human moved continuously yet gracefully. Each step, each dodge, each turn was precise. He did not counterattack immediately, but he positioned himself to avoid harm and to control the flow of the battle. His body moved like a river, flexible and strong. A small alien spectator whispered to its companion, "He moves like the humans in old Hollow stories, faster than thought, smarter than expected." Ciara felt frustration rising. She was used to dominating opponents quickly, crushing them before they could react. But this human was different. She tried harder, striking faster, using more force, even attempting psychic maneuvers that could disorient most opponents. Yet the human remained calm. He felt her intentions, but he did not panic. He moved with confidence, as if he knew her mind before she acted. The crowd was now completely silent. Every eye was on them. The hovering drones captured every motion, every shift of weight, every glance. Across the galaxy, viewers watched in awe. Humans were already considered unpredictable, but few had ever seen one face the galaxy's top warrior without weapons and survive. Ciara realized something important. The human was not relying on strength. He was using strategy. He was using instinct. He was using the one thing that many alien species underestimated: adaptability. No amount of training or technology could predict a truly adaptable opponent. The human suddenly moved forward, stepping lightly around Ciara, shifting her attention. She reacted instantly, swinging her blade to cut him off. But he didn't just dodge. He used her momentum against her, moving close and guiding her motion, causing her to overextend. For the first time in the arena, Ciara felt the sting of being outmaneuvered. The crowd erupted into shocked whispers. Aliens who had cheered for Ciara moments ago were now stunned. Even veteran gladiators watching from the stands leaned forward, realizing that the human might actually challenge her fully. Ciara's eyes narrowed. Her pride would not allow her to be outmatched, but her mind raced for new strategies. She jumped backward, summoning her energy shield. Her blade now glowed brighter, her movements faster and sharper. She attacked in unpredictable patterns, trying to overwhelm the human. The human adjusted seamlessly. He didn't panic. Instead, he observed, waited, and moved with a precision that seemed impossible. He ducked under one strike, sidestepped another, and guided a third away with a gentle touch. It was as if he could feel her intent before she acted. Ciara paused for a moment. This human was not just skilled. He was extraordinary. She realized that brute force and traditional combat techniques would not be enough. She had to think differently, fight differently, and perhaps respect differently. For a brief moment, she watched him carefully. His calmness was unnerving. He was not reckless, yet not hesitant. He fought without anger or pride, without cruelty or fear. He simply adapted, using his mind and body together. Then he spoke. "You are strong, Ciara, but strength alone cannot predict everything. You must think, adapt, and trust your instincts." The Force Commander Queen paused, slightly shocked. How did he know her name? Then she realized humans were clever observers. They noticed details that others missed. They learned quickly. They adapted faster than most species could imagine. Ciara resumed the attack, but now with more thought. She tried feints, subtle misdirections, and unpredictable movements. She tested the human's reactions, analyzing his style. Yet with each attempt, he remained one step ahead, countering, dodging, and redirecting. Minutes passed like hours. The crowd was silent, hanging on every movement. Even minor sounds, like the clash of Ciara's blade with the air, echoed in the vast arena. Every spectator, alien or human, felt the intensity of the moment. They were witnessing more than a fight. They were witnessing the clash of instinct, strength, and intelligence. Ciara could feel her energy draining, but her mind remained sharp. She had always fought to win, but now she fought to understand. She was learning from her opponent. Every movement, every dodge, every subtle shift revealed something about the human mind and body. She realized humans had an unpredictability that could not be matched by technology or brute force. The human suddenly shifted his position. With a quick, fluid movement, he caused Ciara to miscalculate a strike. Her blade cut through the ground instead of the air. She stumbled slightly but quickly regained balance. Her pride stung, but she smiled inwardly. Finally, she felt the thrill of a real challenge. The crowd's whispers turned into excited murmurs. Aliens who had doubted humans before now began to wonder. Could this human really be stronger than the galaxy's top warriors? Could humans, so few in number, truly change the balance of power? Ciara's breathing was steady, Her mind focused. She realized she could not underestimate him. And she also realized something unexpected. She respected him. She respected his skill, his calmness, and his ability to adapt in ways she had never imagined. The human did not strike aggressively. He moved with patience, waiting for Ziara to make the next move. He had no weapons, yet he controlled the battle's flow. His strategy was clear: survive, observe, adapt, and guide the fight. Every action was precise, every reaction calculated. Ziara knew she had to act differently. She combined speed, strength, and careful observation, moving unpredictably, testing his limits. Yet the human adjusted effortlessly, countering in ways that seemed impossible. Every strike she made, every motion she planned, he anticipated with clarity and calmness. Finally, Ziara stopped, lowering her blade slightly. Her body was ready, but her mind was awed. This human was not just a fighter. He was something new, something the galaxy had underestimated for far too long. She realized that humans, with their adaptability, creativity, and instinct, were more powerful than anyone had imagined. The human stood still, calm, confident, and ready. His presence alone commanded attention, respect, and awe. Ziara took a deep breath. She had faced many warriors, but this was different. This human was not just surviving, he was teaching her something about the nature of combat and strategy. The crowd held its breath. The arena's energy thrummed with anticipation. Both warriors knew that the real battle had only just begun. Yet already humans had proven something extraordinary: their ability to face the impossible, adapt, and endure. Ziara raised her blade once more, and the human prepared himself. The next clash would be decisive, showing not just skill, but the unique power of human instinct and intelligence. Across the galaxy, viewers watched in awe, realizing that humans were far more than anyone had believed. The arena waited. The battle continued. And the legend of the human, unarmed yet unmatched, grew with every passing second. The arena was quiet, but the energy was electric. Every spectator, alien and human alike, could feel it. Ziara, the Force Commander Queen, lowered her blade slightly, her glowing blue eyes fixed on the human who stood calmly in front of her. For the first time in her life, she felt a sense of humility in the middle of battle. This human had faced her unarmed and survived. Not only survived, but had shown skills and intelligence that challenged everything she knew. The human did not attack. He simply watched her, his calm presence commanding attention. His dark eyes were steady, full of understanding and quiet strength. He had not come to boast. He had not come to humiliate. He had come to prove something simple but extraordinary: that humans, though small in number, were clever, adaptable, and resilient. Ziara exhaled slowly. She had always believed in her own strength, her strategy, her skill. And yet, facing this human, she realized that power alone was not enough. Humans thought differently. They adapted. They solved problems others could not even imagine. And this one human had shown her that strength could be measured in more than just muscles or weapons. The crowd whispered in awe. Aliens who had doubted humans now stared in amazement. Even the veteran warriors, those who had fought in countless arenas across galaxies, were quiet, observing with growing respect. Humans were no longer underestimated. They were unpredictable, intelligent, and now they were becoming legendary. Ziara's mind raced. She had trained her whole life for the perfect strike, the flawless defense, the ultimate victory. And yet here was a human, unarmed, moving with precision and skill that she had never seen before. She realized that she had much to learn, and for the first time, she felt the excitement of a challenge that was more than physical. It was mental, strategic, and creative. Human, Ziara said, lowering her blade further. You fight differently than any warrior I have faced. You do not rely on strength alone. You observe, adapt, and anticipate. It is remarkable. The human nodded slightly, his calm demeanor unchanged. I do what I must, he said simply. Humans survive by understanding their surroundings and adapting to challenges. Strength is part of it, yes, but it is not everything. Strategy, awareness, and quick thinking matter more than raw power. Ziara studied him closely. She had faced warriors who relied on brute force, on speed, on advanced weaponry. None had taught her anything new. But this human had shown her a new way to think about combat. She realized that humans in general possessed a rare quality: flexibility of mind. They could face impossible situations and adapt. They could succeed where others failed. For the first time, Ziara felt admiration, even respect, for a human. She had never doubted her own strength before, but this human had forced her to see a different kind of power, one that was subtle, intelligent, and unpredictable. The human spoke again, softly but clearly. "You are a great warrior, Ziara. I do not wish to defeat you without reason. I fight to show that humans can stand alongside the strongest in the galaxy. That is all." Ziara's eyes softened slightly. His words were honest. There was no arrogance, no cruelty, just truth. She realized that this human was not a threat in the way she had imagined. He was an equal, not in raw strength, but in spirit and ability. The crowd watched in silence. Every alien and human present sensed the significance of the moment. They were witnessing more than a battle. They were witnessing respect being earned, a new understanding forming. Humans, once considered weak or simple, were proving that their minds and instincts were powerful tools in any challenge. Ziara took a step forward, lowering her blade completely. "You have earned my respect," she said. "Many warriors have come to this arena seeking fame or glory. You have come simply to demonstrate skill. That is rare, that is admirable." The human nodded, his expression calm. "Thank you. Respect is earned through action, not words. I respect your victories and your skill as well. You are a worthy opponent." The Force Commander Queen felt a strange warmth in her chest. She had always fought for victory, for pride, for recognition. But now she realized that true strength included respect, understanding, and learning from others, even humans. She had always seen humans as unpredictable, yes, but also fragile. This human had changed that perception entirely. Ziara turned slightly, addressing the crowd. "Witnesses of the galaxy," she said, her voice carrying authority. "Today we have seen something extraordinary. This human has shown skill, intelligence, and courage that surpass expectation. Let it be known that humans are not to be underestimated." The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices echoing across the arena. Humans, previously overlooked or underestimated, were now recognized for their abilities. Ziara's words carried weight. Across planets, viewers watching the broadcast understood that a new legend was forming. The human smiled faintly. "It is not about legends," he said quietly. "It is about proving what can be done when you face challenges with courage and intelligence." Ziara considered his words. They were simple yet profound. She realized that human strength lay not only in physical skill, but in their ability to think, adapt, and endure. She had fought many battles in her life, but today she had learned something more important, that true power included intelligence, strategy, and respect. The arena's energy shifted. The crowd's cheers were no longer just for a single warrior. They were for a human who had defied expectation, who had challenged the galaxy's greatest, and who had earned respect without striking a single blow. Aliens whispered, some in fear, others in awe. They realized that humans might change the balance of power in ways they had never imagined. Ziara approached the human slowly. Her steps were deliberate, her mind focused. She extended her hand. "Join me," she said. "Together we could face challenges that no one else could. The galaxy is changing, and humans are part of that change. Stand with me, and we will be stronger than anyone expects." The human looked at her hand, then back into her eyes. He could feel her sincerity. He could sense her respect. He nodded slowly, understanding the significance of the gesture. "I will stand with you," he said. "Together we can face whatever comes next." The crowd erupted into thunderous applause. Aliens and humans alike cheered, celebrating not just a battle, but the beginning of a partnership. The arena had witnessed not just skill and strength, but understanding, respect, and the potential of humans to influence the galaxy. Ziara and the human stood together in the center of the arena, their presence commanding attention. They were no longer just two individuals, they were symbols of what could be achieved when strength was combined with intelligence, adaptability, and respect. The crowd could sense it, and across planets, viewers understood that humans had arrived in a way no one could ignore. Ziara turned slightly, her eyes scanning the audience. "Let it be known," she said, "that humans are clever, adaptable, and capable. Do not underestimate them. And do not underestimate what can be achieved when we work together." The human nodded, his calm expression showing quiet determination. "Humans may be few, but our minds and courage are strong. Together we can face anything." The arena seemed to glow with energy, the lights reflecting off Ziara's armor and the human's calm stance. The atmosphere was filled with possibility, with the sense that the galaxy had entered a new era. Humans were no longer mere observers. They were participants capable of achieving greatness alongside the strongest warriors in existence. Ziara and the human left the center of the arena together. They did not need words to explain what had happened. Respect had been earned, understanding had been shared, and the seeds of a new alliance had been planted. The crowd continued to cheer, but a quiet realization lingered. Across the galaxy, species would speak of this moment for years to come. A human had entered the arena, faced the Force Commander Queen, and emerged not just unscathed but respected. Humans were now a force to be considered. Ciara walked beside the human, her mind focused on the future. She had faced countless battles, but now she understood something new. Strength alone was not enough. True power came from strategy, intelligence, and the ability to adapt. Humans had shown her this lesson, and she would carry it forward. As they exited the arena, the whispers continued. The human, he is incredible. Did you see how he moved? The Force Commander Queen respects him. Across planets, the legend spread. Humans were no longer underestimated. They were the future, clever, adaptable, and unstoppable when challenged. And so a new chapter began. Ziara had learned respect. The human had earned it. Together they would face challenges that no single species could handle alone. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of humans, and there was no turning back. The arena, silent now, held the echoes of what had just occurred. A battle had ended, but the story was only beginning. Humans, small in number but extraordinary in skill and intelligence, had shown their true power. And the galaxy would never forget the day Force Commander Queen Ziara met a human who changed everything. The arena was calm now, but the energy in the air was thick with awe and respect. Force Commander Queen Ziara and the human stood side by side in the center, their presence commanding the attention of every being in the crowd. What had started as a battle had transformed into something far greater, a moment that would be remembered across galaxies for generations. Ziara's armor glimmered in the arena lights. Her blade, once raised in battle, now rested at her side. Her glowing blue eyes surveyed the crowd, but her attention remained on the human. He had proven something extraordinary: skill, intelligence, adaptability, and courage. He had shown that humans, though fewer in number and physically smaller than many species, could match the strongest warriors in the galaxy. The human, calm and composed, glanced at Ziara and then at the audience. He did not boast or demand recognition. He simply stood with quiet confidence, showing that true strength lay not in words but in action. Every alien watching understood that humans had earned their respect, not through fear or intimidation, but through their abilities, their intelligence, and their courage. The crowd erupted into cheers once more, this time louder and more unified. Aliens who had doubted humans before now applauded them. Even the most skeptical species recognized that humanity had arrived as a force to be reckoned with. Across the galaxy, hollow transmissions captured the moment, and viewers from distant planets witnessed what no one had ever expected. Ziara turned to the human. "You have changed more than just this arena," she said. Her voice was steady, but there was a note of admiration. "You have shown the galaxy that humans are clever, adaptable, and capable of facing the impossible. Today you have proven that strength is not only measured in power, but in mind and spirit." The human nodded slightly. "It is not about proving superiority," he said quietly. "It is about showing that humans can rise to challenges no matter how impossible they seem. That is how we survive, and that is how we grow." Ziara smiled faintly. She had faced countless challenges, and yet this human had taught her something new, something she could not have learned through battles alone. Humans were clever, quick-thinking, and adaptable. They could face situations that others could not handle, and in doing so they could become powerful in ways that many species failed to understand. The arena's attention shifted to the crowd. Aliens were discussing among themselves. "The human, he did not fight with weapons," one whispered. "Yet he matched the Force Commander Queen herself." Another said, "He moves like nothing I have ever seen." Humans are remarkable. Across galaxies, the news spread like wildfire. Humans, once considered weak or insignificant, were now seen as clever, adaptable, and formidable. The story of this human in the arena reached distant worlds, inspiring awe and changing perceptions about humanity. Species that had underestimated humans began to reconsider their assumptions. The galaxy would never forget this day. Ziara turned back to the human. "There is much to do," she said. The galaxy faces threats that no single species can handle. Today, you have shown that humans can stand alongside the strongest warriors. Together we can face challenges that others cannot even imagine. The human nodded. Then let us prepare, he said simply. We have work to do and we must act with strategy, intelligence, and courage. Humans can adapt, but we must also learn from others. Together we can achieve more than any one species could alone. The Force Commander Queen considered his words carefully. She realized that humans had a unique ability to see beyond immediate strength, to plan, adapt, and endure. This made them valuable allies, not just fighters. Their unpredictability, intelligence, and resilience could turn the tide in conflicts that seemed impossible. Very well, Ziara said, her voice carrying authority. You will stand with me. The galaxy will know that humans are not weak, that they are not to be underestimated, and together we will face whatever comes next. The human smiled faintly. Then let us begin, he said. His calm confidence inspired others. Even the spectators who had only come to watch a fight now felt the weight of history unfolding before them. The arena itself seemed to pulse with energy. The lights reflected off Zayara's armor and the human's steady form. It was a moment of unity, strength, and potential. The crowd cheered, recognizing that they had witnessed something far greater than a single battle. They had witnessed the beginning of a new era. Outside the arena, news spreads quickly across systems and planets. Species that once mocked humans now paused to consider their abilities. Diplomats, generals, and scholars discussed the event, realizing that humanity's role in galactic affairs could no longer be ignored. Humans were not just survivors. They were clever, resourceful, and capable of influencing the balance of power across worlds. Ziara and the human exited the arena together. Their steps were synchronized, confident, and deliberate. As they walked, Ziara spoke. You have done more than fight. You have proven that humans can stand with the strongest. That alone is a gift to the galaxy. The human shook his head slightly. It is not a gift. It is our nature. We adapt, we endure, and we rise to challenges. That is all any species can do. Ziara smiled. She had faced countless challenges in her life, but this human had taught her something new. That strength and power were not everything. Intelligence, adaptability, and courage were equally vital. Humans could survive and thrive where others might fail. The crowd continued to cheer, some waving banners of admiration. Others began chanting the human's name, a rare honor for one so new to galactic fame. Ziara observed quietly, proud of both the human and the change that had begun. Humans would never again be underestimated. In the coming weeks, reports of the human's skill and courage spread across the galaxy. Species that had previously dismissed humanity began to prepare differently, respecting humans as capable and intelligent allies. Military leaders studied the humans' movements and strategies. Diplomats reconsidered alliances, and scholars wrote about the adaptability and instincts of humanity. Ziara trained alongside the human. They shared tactics, strategies, and ideas. Humans learned from her experience and strength, while she learned from the human's adaptability, insight, and ability to predict outcomes. Together, they became a force unlike any other, ready to face threats that no single species could withstand alone. The arena itself became a symbol of this new partnership. A place where strength met intelligence, where courage met adaptability, and where humans proved their worth to the galaxy. Visitors came not just to watch fights, but to witness what humans could achieve, and to learn from the example set by the human and Ziara together. One day, standing on the arena's highest platform, Ziara addressed a crowd of thousands with the human by her side. Let this day be remembered, she said. A human has shown us the power of mind, courage, and adaptability. Humans are clever, resilient, and capable. Never underestimate them again. The human added quietly, we are small in number, but not in ability. Together with others, we can face challenges no one else can. Humans will rise to meet the galaxy, and we will endure, adapt, and succeed. The crowd erupted into thunderous applause. The legend of the human in the arena had become a reality. Humans were no longer considered insignificant or weak. They were respected, admired, and recognized as capable of shaping the future of the galaxy. Ziara turned to the human, a faint smile on her face. Today we have begun a new chapter, she said. The galaxy will never forget it. The human nodded. And neither will we, he replied. It is only the beginning. Humans will continue to rise and the galaxy will see what we can do. The arena lights dimmed, but the memory of the battle, the respect earned, and the lessons learned remained. Across planets and systems, species began to rethink their perceptions of humans. A new era had begun, one where humans would no longer be overlooked, underestimated, or dismissed. The Force Commander Queen and the human walked side by side, ready to face new challenges, ready to show the galaxy the full potential of humanity. Their partnership symbolized strength, intelligence, and adaptability. And as they moved forward, the stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if recognizing that a new legend had been born. The arena, now quiet and empty, held echoes of what had just happened. A human had entered, faced the strongest, and earned respect. He had shown the galaxy that humans were clever, adaptable, and capable. The legacy of that day would live on for generations, and so, a new era began. One where humans would rise, the galaxy would change, and legends would be written not just in battles, but in courage, intelligence, and the ability to adapt to the impossible.